We will be swapping off of it as soon as we get Fortitude, though. Although Fortitude might end up on the Mercenary. And we just stick with Peace. You prefer Strafe for attacking many enemies? Yeah, Strafe is the main thing I use offline. Strafe for bows, and you use Lightning Fury for cows. I prefer Strafe over Multi-Shot. The reason we're doing Multi-Shot is because we're using Bariza, as opposed to something fast like a Faith or a Wind Force. Are Zons faster than Hammerdins for Chaos? No. There's nothing to slow down the Hammerdins in Chaos Sanctuary. Once you know how to play a Hammerdin optimally, the Hammerdin will be faster. And we're playing online. This is Players 1. But whenever I'm playing offline, I'm usually in Players 3 for the Strafe Zon in Chaos and Worldstone. Mainly because that's my happy zone as far as drop rates and stuff like that. But yeah, with the only reason we are using multi-shot is because we have the Bariza and it's slower. I don't want to be stuck in the strafe animation, which can bite you in the ass. Strafe Amazons are also fairly good at the Travancore. That's one area where a lot of physical characters tend to really wreck face. Zons are easier to aim. Yes, by a large margin. Once you get used to it, hammers aren't terrible for aiming, though. So let's go back out there, and we're not going to rescue the barbarians. We don't need more runes. We'll save them for if we ever need a Tal or a Ral. And more fire archers. Great. That's just asking for Mercenary to die, unfortunately. Again, I'd rather take the hits than him in this case, because he is my mana potion. Amazons are actually really easy to aim with the controller, too, speaking of aiming chance. I've yet to actually encounter an Amazon skill that I've tried with controller that felt bad. Some don't feel nearly as good, like Lightning Fury doesn't feel quite as good, but it's still fine. Get rid of those. A properly equipped Hammerdin can just rip things to pieces, though. So let's go ahead and grab that, but you have to deal with your greatest enemy, walls. Hammers on controller. I haven't tried that, actually. Let's go ahead and grab... Let's just get more vitality for now. And work on our lightning skills. We could use them right now if we wanted to. Wouldn't be the end of the world, but it also wouldn't be like my main go-to. So what we're doing is we're just going to skirt up the wall here. We're going to go into the next area. We're going to find our cave. We're going to get into it as quickly as possible. We might actually beat Act 5 tonight, which would put us in hell for the next stream. Probably won't grind before then because I don't think I'll have time if I'm going to get everything up and running. Hey, there's a Lum rune. Sweet. And people say runes are hard to find. We've gotten kind of lucky. I will admit that. But runes are nowhere near as hard to find as they were back in the early days. Back then, it was pretty much impossible that you'd ever find a Zod. Nowadays, it's within reason to expect someone to be able to eventually find one. How to aim teleport and meteor and such on a controller. I haven't found a way that feels terribly good with them. I mean, it's doable, but it doesn't feel good because you generally... Yeah, it just doesn't feel great. Teleporting and all that stuff on controller. That's one of the downsides of the controller aspect is the movements weren't ever planned for it. Because this was during Blizzard's no console period. Currently playing Freezing Arrow and Lightning Fury Charge Strike Zon. Super fun and can clear all content. Yep. Pretty much a hybrid Amazon can clear all content. My experience with the Fendazon so far is that it actually can do everywhere. And if you threw in the lightning skills, you really would have nothing to worry about. Wow, we are in a dodge lock there. There you guys go. Nice. As we kill them all, that's when the... Oh, is there one up there? No, there's not one up there. We've got the Vile Archers. Let's go just grab the gold. Why not? Not going to bother with the Tigulated Mail. But yeah, Freezing Arrow and Lightning works good. Freezing Arrow and Poison works good if you have the right stuff in your shield. It can be actually kind of nasty. But it's there. I haven't played Diablo 3 on console. I have it on PC. I mean, technically I have it on console because I got it as part of a batch, but to put it kind of clearly, I got it as part of a... I'm trying to think of how to phrase it. There's a term for it. A lot, basically a bunch of stuff that you get super cheap as is, and I never even bothered testing it because I played it on PC, so I wouldn't be playing it on console anyway. But, so yeah, I haven't tried that with controller in Diablo 3. I haven't tried any of the movement skills in controller in Diablo 3. That has been pure mouse and keyboard for me. Got lightning return mages, which are actually not that bad. This area, not too threatening for the mercenary, thankfully. So we can just kind of continue on and not worry about crap. Let's see, that is a dead end. I should have known because it shows it on the freaking map. Teleport just goes where you're facing? That would make sense. Teleporting in most games is not really great on consoles because it becomes more of a just repositioning in a direction as opposed to repositioning to something specific. If that makes sense. Let's see, do we need anything here? Not really. We don't need this waypoint. We don't need any of the other things. We'll probably end up doing a safety portal just to be on the safe side. Probably won't need it where we're going unless we get some like really bad combo down here. But beyond that, I think we're good. If we find the waypoint, we'll take it, but not terribly concerned about it. In fact, nope, that's not it. That's just random wall in the woods. We should have a Thresh socket coming up really soon. Because this is only so... There's Thresh socket. Hi. And can we get him before he gets amp damage on us? Maybe. We did. Sweet. Absolutely more powerful on PC. That's generally the truth of teleport anywhere. Now, I have to say, I did try out Grim Dawn on controller, by the way, speaking of controller controls, and that actually feels kind of good on it. Most of the Grim Dawn skills translate fairly well into controller usage because, well, they're not your usual just like, I'm dropping a meteor and it takes 5 hours to show up kind of thing. That's my only thing I don't like about Meteor is the fact that it takes so long to come down. You have to get used to using it. Like, if you don't use it for a few weeks, your aim will be off on it. Almost guaranteed. So let's go ahead and throw a bunch of bolts downwind. Oh, it's a boss mob. Oh, mana burn. Even worse. Don't kill the mercenary with your nonsense. But yeah, just kind of chilling. We should have... Ooh, hey, our full rejuve on this character, I think. Do-do-do. Nice. But yeah, I think the rest of Nightmare difficulty will be fairly relaxed for us. We'll see for sure how the Ancients go, but beyond that, I don't think there's much for us to worry about. We could get Gloams down here, but our lightning resist is positive. So it's better than nothing. We've definitely gotten here with worse. With no Enigma, Traps in Hammerden or a Necro is better for Neelathak. If I was going to farm Neelathak with those, I'd probably farm with a Trapsin. You burst of speed, you can run around and find the way down, and then you just drop traps down his pathway. And it nukes stuff, things explode, he can't hit you with his corpse explosions. You're fine. And Hammerden does not do terribly well down there because, especially without Enigma, because of the walls. That's not a very wide open place. Chaos Sanctuary is wide open and stuff like that. Yeah, I know. We've played a bit with controller. We actually played most of Act 2 in normal with controller on this character, in fact. Just for the jollies. But I prefer mouse and keyboard for this game. They need to introduce a right stick aiming system, by the way, for console controls. Let you use right stick to aim things like Meteor and stuff like that. Or at least have it be toggleable. That would probably make things a little bit simpler. Let's just keep going around the edge. That's generally your strategy in these areas, is if you are looking for the way down, you just travel around the edge. There we go. And they all did. Between Trapsin and Necro, which is better? For my personal preference, I prefer the Necromancer, but the Trapsin is generally going to be better for the killing Neelathak part. As far as just in general play, I do prefer the Necromancer just because I am more used to it. Hey, we've got ghosts. Nightmare, they're not a problem. Oh, there's our Mercenary. I was like, where is Mercenary? He's just doing his own thing there. It's like, okay. So we've got Drifters, Stygian Harlots. These aren't Succubi. These are actually Stygian Harlots. There is a difference. These are casting amp damage and stuff. And we've got Abominables. That's actually not a bad layout. And Ghosts. Ghosts are easy as hell, because we are doing a fairly decent amount of elemental damage thanks to Bariza. Yeah, it's cold damage, so it's not really helping against these, but for that we have all the physical damage. So let's see. Grab that, throw it in. We are about to have our first row of the... Oh, yes, please. Traps in, negate snakes. I don't... You don't have to move around as the Necro either, really, until you've killed him. Because you don't have to get close to him to like aim at him with spear or anything like that. But yeah, they can still... If you're wondering what I'm talking about with the moving around, that's kind of due to how those attacks work. Moving around actually kills you faster, which is kind of counterintuitive, but that's why your Mercenary just immediately blorps. Oh yeah, dim vision also helps. I mean, even if you don't have dim vision, you can get confused, or you can just bait them all onto your walls and shoot bone spears at them, killing them yourself. Trap Skin negates the snakes for Cloak of Shadows, and it also, because you can drop traps around corners, the snakes will usually die before they get to you. So you drop a trap at a corner, and it'll shoot everything in that hallway. You move up, you drop it in front of the next hallway, and the next hallway, and just keep proceeding like that, and you never even actually encounter the snakes, unless you're unlucky. So, yeah. And also, Death Sentries are amazing versus Neelathak, because they will pop as soon as there is something they can hit with that stuff. Which is usually your first kill, because he's surrounded by a swarm. We're getting a lot of these evil urns. I'm very tempted to pop them, but at the same time, I probably shouldn't. Let's see, mana potion, I will go ahead and drink, just to top myself off. Yes, I know we have the Meditation Mercenary, but it's not like I'm going to do anything else with that mana potion. And I do like this addition down here. Hey, we got something better for Mercenary. Or for us if we wanted to use it. Level 66 requirement, but I think we want Steel Skull and give this to him because we want the attack speed. Walls and pillars get in the way a lot. Yes, they do. Both for you and for the enemies, but enemies will actually sit there and just shoot the pillar. The AI is not the best in this game. Another interesting thing, I think it might actually even be related to the increased attack speed bug, is that frenzy enemies, like the horrible, horrible frenzy tours and stuff like that, will actually sometimes lock up their AI if their attack speed gets too high. As long as you can get a bead on where Neelathak is and just like meteor him, he's as good as dead anyway. Diablo 3 win. We've done 2 run-throughs of Diablo 3 with a Barbarian and a Necromancer back whenever the Necromancer first released. But I'll probably be doing the other classes of Diablo 3 on the Let's Play channel. I'm not sure if I'll stream them here, or if I'm just going to just record them off camera and play them there, because I am by no means an expert on Diablo 3 by any stretch of the imagination. It's just I played through it with the classes and get some experience with it. But yes, there will be more Diablo 3 content eventually. It's just a little bit low on the priority list. If you have good resists and damage reduction, no, it won't kill you. Because you're not running Neelathak on like more than players 3. Usually. If not playing it solo, if you're playing online. You're not used to Necro, they're both fun, just depends on what you want to play, and you can get it all done for free. Yeah, there is not a character in this game that can't do everything in the game except for Ubers. And most of them can do Ubers as well, it's just a matter of how much struggle that you want to go through with it. And we're just gonna mana potion up and just go for it. There you go. Everything's dead. Hi, Anya. You jerk for not giving us the town portal back. Yeah. Cold Sores. Nature's Peace helps with it. You can also use other pieces of equipment with Rest in Peace on them. There's a few. It's not terrible. With a Blizzard Source, you can't kill the immune, so you can't cast the corpses. Ah, true. That is actually true because all of his little explodey boys are cold immune. Let's see. Let's just throw junk in there. I forget where Lum goes on the big list. I think it's in here somewhere. We'll just throw it there for now and I'll organize it later. You need to create characters to run the keys. You're assuming Sorceress for Countess, Sin for Neelathak, who for Summoner? Sorceress for Summoner. Sorceress on Summoner is super easy because you can just teleport around to him. Whenever you're doing the Summoner, though, and you go the wrong direction, hit those chests. For the love of God, open those chests. They can actually drop runes. And a lot of people overlook them. They're the same kind of chest that's in Lower Kurast. Just in case you run with Nature's Peace and Dwarf Star. Too slow to catch a Shaco on a Bale Pup. Oh, I'm sorry, Spartan. That would have been a good ad. Summoner, you would use Source. Also, the tele helps with speed to find the right direction. Yeah. Summon Druid Uber Challenge. Ugh. That makes me kind of sick to my stomach to even think about doing Ubers with a Summon Druid, because he doesn't have Crushing Blow or Prevent Monster Heal as a pure summoner. Magic Find does not apply to those chests. It doesn't apply to any chests, but it doesn't apply to those chests. But yes, they are super chests. They are exactly like the Lower Kurast chests, where they have a specific set of library that they pull from to do drops. Of course, higher player counts are going to get you more chances of runes and stuff, but it's definitely worth popping them. And for those of you that are curious how chests work, they're not impacted by Magic Find, but what happens is whenever you open a chest, the chest is basically given a blanket assignment. So it's either going to be a magic chest, a rare chest, a unique chest, or a set chest. And yes, I have gotten set chests. Like once in a blue moon, I'll get them. Usually I get rare or magic. You will sometimes get unique. You will sometimes get set. But basically, all the items in there will be assigned that kind of quality level whenever they drop. Yeah, that's correct. They do not care about Magic Find. It's just like gambling, where you open the chest, it gambles the quality. So everything in there, if you get a unique roll, if you have like 15 items pop out, they'd all be unique. So yeah, they don't care about your Magic Find. Neither do keys. Only thing that cares about Magic Find is whether you're getting uniques off of enemies. So let's go. Oh yeah, we need to thaw her out. You would allow melee from the druid? Okay. That makes it actually a lot easier. Because then you're a summoner bear or a summoner fury. Charms can indeed drop from chests. Theoretically, and this is just a big air quote, theoretically, you could get a Geet's charm from them as well. Oh, the evil urns. I thought you were talking about the chests we were mentioning. But yeah, evil urns are good for Magic Find. You'll sometimes get a Stone of Jordan, but you'll never get Train Claws. Aw, that is some kind of like deep-seated curse going on there. No one, that's may you live in interesting times level of like, ha, you're going to have a bad day. But yeah. That's harsh. So let's go get some more resist. Yay, 75 raw fire resist. We're going to be negative lightning and poison in hell. So we will absolutely have to swap over to that stuff. And lose some of our attack speed. I'm so sad. But we'll have Steel Skull. Mercenary will have Telrashes. So let's see. We've done quite a bit here. You gave me a bow. Is it a good bow? No. Garbage. I don't want to buy that. Yeah, that's garbage. In D2 current version, can more than one copy of a unique drop in the same game? Not that I'm aware of. Between IO and Co? Okay. Stream must be lagging a little bit. I have it on low latency. But yeah, I knew it was not high, so it wouldn't be in my mid levels. So, yay, there we go. I always forget what level they are, but I should have actually looked at the stats on it, because that would have told me right away, because all of the, if you notice, all of the stat ones are clumped together, all of the elemental ones are clumped together, that kind of stuff. But yeah, they're organized. What basically we're keeping 4 of each of these, 2 of up to I think, let's see, 27 I think, and then we have 1 for each of the ones above that, and then the rest are going on mules. Just to keep my organization at least semi-sane. We could swap them all out. We wouldn't have the attack speed. Let's see what it feels like. We don't have the strength to do that. I keep forgetting. We need the glove strength until we get storm shells, but what do our resists look like on there? 75% lightning resist too. That would actually be kind of nice. So maybe we dump into strength a little bit to get the rest of our stuff on. Soon enough. Soon enough. I thought we had something waiting at... Oh yeah, it was 52 for the... 51 for the belt. That makes us lose the magic find, unfortunately. So I'm going to keep it like this for now. For a while. How many miles do I have? You mean mals? M-A-L-S? I have 0 mal runes. currently. We have not found one at all on any of the characters so far, unfortunately. But yeah, if you're farming this area in hell, you actually definitely want to pop those evil urns. But yeah, we haven't gotten any Maul runes. We've gotten 2 low runes, but no Maul runes. Once we get the Maul rune, I'll probably be making a Grief. That's one reason why I might save the Paladin until later, and we could just have Grief for Paladin and Barb. Oh, how many mules? Oh, too many. And they're not organized. I already made the 7 characters I'm going to use to just go through normal life, but I have online at least 7 or 8 mules. Found 2 Mauls so far. Awesome. They're used in some good stuff. It's kind of like the Dole rune, where it's kind of like people don't think about it too much as far as what it's in. So let's go ahead and just keep nuking everything. We forgot to buy more arrows. We'll be fine. We don't really need a ton unless we come across something super dangerous, which I don't think we're going to. But yeah, if we find a Maul rune, we'll be perfectly content to save it and use it. Would I say Vex ist for Sir is fair? Not sure about rune values. That one I'm not up to date on. We have not been trading on our account. So it's... Personally, I wouldn't make the trade. That's because I actually would have a use, especially for the Vex, in my personal playstyle. But I would have more use for the Vex than the Surge. But as far as raw value, as far as the entire overall market goes, that's something Chad will have to answer. Favorite boss skill, character, or skills? Both Mal drops were on the River of Flame and Halls of Pain and Nightmare on PS4. Can you recommend an organization scheme for your mules? How to sort stuff by item type like arm? I have a socket character, which I hold all the socketed items on. And it's worth noting, single player, I use Go Mule. I don't bother with the nonsense of trying to organize that. Massive cluster. If you guys... I have an item hoarding problem in single player because I have to craft so many weird things. And Vex alone should be enough. That sounds about right. But organization scheme for the mules, how to sort stuff by item. I generally don't cut it down to being like gloves and boots and stuff like that. You'll generally find that one set of boots, as you get really high in this, unless you are using something specific, you'll usually either be using War Travs or maybe a couple of the unique boots, or you'll just be using Faster Run Rock resist boots. So... best item I found so far in online, in D2R, probably the low rune that we made a fortitude out of. I need the stats from the Treks to actually equip my bow. But let's just keep going. And we'll go down here. Summon Necro any pointed mage skellies, 1 point. It's just to get to your revives. But no, they're not exactly that strong. There's no way to scale them easily. But let's see. But I have way too many mules. But as far as organizing them go, I usually have a rune mule, a gem mule, maybe 2 gem mules. It depends on how fast I'm using them. And then I'll have a low unique, low set, mid unique, mid set. And usually the mid set one will hold the high sets. And then I will have socketed items. I really wish this had crossplay too. But I know why they didn't do it, because of PvP. Let's see. But yeah, summon Necros are generally not going to have much use for the mages, because they're not going to be able to scale up in damage compared to the rest of the stuff. It's mostly because the way the... Let's go ahead and chuck those in there. The reason they're not good is you don't have a way to boost up their damage. You can lower enemy resists, but that's about it. Whereas with the regular skeletons, you can throw in might, fanaticism, concentration. You can do amp damage to lower the enemy resist, just like lower resist does. You have a lot more options with them. Overwatch has crossplay because it's a different kind of gameplay. Everyone's kind of like on even-ish grounds with that. I mean, the aiming part might be a little bit of a point, but with the controller versus mouse and keyboard on here, you're talking about whole screens of difference in how you can aim stuff. So let's go ahead and kill them. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by chat rather than going through the game. We'll get there. But best item I found so far would probably be the low rune. All two of them. But that best item is really subjective. Like, I'm going to get more use out of that low rune than I would ever get out of a Zod. Than I would ever get out of... Actually, then I would even get out of Magic Find equipment on these characters, because I'm not worried about getting better gear per se. I'm just going through the game kind of like how you would do if you were doing a purely just from scratch single player kind of playthrough. Your son played a Necro, but you've never played one. Yeah, mages they just don't scale. It's a major unfortunate thing. I wish there was something that could be done about it, but other than giving an aura or something that could boost them, I don't see it happening. Yeah, I'm using Bariza. We found it on... Was it the Druid that we found it on? I think it was the Druid. Vicarious Visions did the development on this for the most part. And I wouldn't really call them lazy. But Blizzard itself... And you can't even really say that about Blizzard in general. But Blizzard in general is very much corporate game development. They're basically what EA became, where it's slave to the stockholders. So they've got to do these very safe, very polished looking poops to release. That's one reason why this probably won't get them much ground, especially in light of their legal issues. But we're not going to bother discussing those. I don't feel up to it today, so I'm not going to. And before we touch that, I know we're close to the waypoint. It's fine. I'm going to grab a gem. We are going to be interested in casters, so we're going to grab that gem. Is it worth leveling up Inner Sight to level 20? No. It's not even worth leveling it up more than 1. And I'm actually... Do I want to... Nah, we'll put that up as a safety portal. Oh, archers. Lovely. And no, Cold Arrow does not do half damage. It does have shorter range, though. So we're going to go ahead and grab that healing potion. Thankfully, the Valkyrie is taking most of the hits here. Is Iron Golem worth it? It depends on what build you're running and how well you can protect him. If you can't protect him, no, he's not worth it at all. But Iron Golems can carry auras for you, so if you have a bunch of just like crappy insights that you've made over the course of playing and you just want some meditation, go ahead and drop it in an Iron Golem. That's not a factor of lazy. As far as the server issues, that's actually a common business practice, which on one hand, I understand why it's there, and on the other hand, it's kind of stupid. But basically what happens is, think about it like if you knew 3 people that had to travel to a specific destination. Would you buy 3 cars, or would you all drive in the same car? Especially considering maybe a week down the line, one of those people will probably quit. Then if you bought 3 cars, you just have that extra car sitting there doing nothing. It's kind of the same thing with the servers. They get the amount of servers that they think the number of players will be reflecting on. If that makes sense to you. Because just buying enough servers to guarantee it isn't... part of it with AWS is actually the same thing. That, and there's also issues with communications between the servers as well. That's something that can't necessarily be solved by more servers unless you build more intermediary software. What's the best way to figure out trading? It feels like you can't ever figure out the price for items that aren't super common. There really isn't I mean, there is a way. I really don't want to promote it, though. As far as trading goes, there are communities that use different measures of how things are worth. And you can use those to kind of scale how much something is at that current time in the community. Like, I'll just go ahead and say it, Forum Gold. I don't use D2JSP. I sometimes use it for like research purposes, but most of that stuff can be found on Amazon Basin anyway. Can I move? Thank you. Wow, that was actually really irritating. I couldn't move. They had me, not necessarily reaction locked, but I was just in a dodge lock. And I couldn't walk. Is Blood Golem and Iron Maiden still a thing? No. Because they changed how it works. It was nerfed a long time ago. Can you fucking die? Thank you. Trying to read chat. Let's see. Oh, I almost read that. I take it you're retyping that. But yeah, Iron Maiden in Hell is just totally not worth it.